Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. A little early this week. I'm proud of myself for that. It's been a good week. Things are flowing. I hope you've had time to check out the website. Give me some feedback on that. What you're excited about, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. Can't say I'll take all your advice, but I will listen and apply what needs to be applied within reason. And very excited about it. I've been working on classes all week, developing the podcast, and running my list of who I'd like to interview and who I'd like to, promote and bring forth with their message. And I'm very excited about that. So keeping with the virtual Vicky theme, we're still in the condo, but in a different location. Those who have been here will recognize that I am standing on my treadmill. Why? Because the tripod for my phone broke right before I got on. So I decided, the other place that I have a nice holder is on the treadmill. And since I spend so much stinking time on this thing anyway, may as well give you the view over my shoulder of my favorite couch. Don't look at the paperwork on that side. There's tax season, there's a lot to be done. So I hope you had a good week as well. It's been a little bit bonkers in the energy. Yesterday I posted on my personal page that have you ever had a day that was just so beyond that all you could do was laugh? And that was my Thursday yesterday. And I could have been miserable. I mean, I won't lie, I was a little cranky first thing in the morning, but did my meditation, cleared some stuff. Did a gratitude list, which is a fantastic way to shift yourself if you're in a bit of the poor me's or why isn't life going the way I want it to go. Mary, it sounds like today was a little crazy too, so maybe you should just get inside a bubble. Could you just stay inside a bubble for a little bit? But it was very bouncy yesterday, and it was people reacting, and while the energy is never a reason to react, not an excuse in my book. It can contribute to things being misread or misunderstandings or miscommunications and that kind of stuff. But we're always responsible for our reactions, hence the laughter. Because with a couple things that happened yesterday, I could have gone into bitchy Vicky mode pretty quickly. But I try not to be in that space. And if I recognize it coming on, deep breath, what's in it for me to learn? Is this my stuff? Is this the other person's stuff? Is this really a big flippin' deal? People were so dramatic yesterday. So it was just a day, and it feels a little calmer today. Hopefully you can find your place of humor in all of this. Even if it carries through to today and your phone holder breaks and you end up standing on the treadmill, at least I'll get credit for standing up while I'm doing this from my watch, of course. So today what I wanted to talk about was how we often give too much credit to other people's ability to affect our feelings or how we are acting in our world. And I love when the universe lines this up for me, because I write the blogs usually a couple weeks ahead of time when I'm on time with things. And sometimes it's 5 minutes before it actually goes. So yesterday happens, this is all ready to go to post, that we can really be affected by other people, but a lot of the times we give other people the power in how we're feeling. So for instance, if I had let some of the communication I received yesterday throw me, and if I would have taken some of the blame that was being thrown at me, it could have spiraled my day. And while I'm aware that there's going to be a reaction within our system because we are human and we do have that fight or flight freeze mode, it's completely up to us whether we enact that, act on it. So I hear all the time that someone else's behavior ruined my day. They made me mad. their betrayal is the reason I'm so miserable 4 decades later. The way that someone else acted is, of course, why I'm cranky. I was going to put another word in there, but I'll keep it clean for the translation. So this is not true. Like, someone else does not have the power to affect your feelings. And yes, your feelings they're going to be hurt. We're human. We have emotions. But what you do with that is up to you. And I like to ask, what in this situation, what is it teaching me? And how can I learn from my own response how to best be in alignment with myself? So sometimes people are manipulating. Sometimes they are acting in that way, in wanting to inflict pain or throw barbs. Most of the time, though, I really believe that they're coming from their own injured space, and they're coming from an inability to communicate effectively. So when you're practiced in not taking things personally, or take them personally for a few minutes, and then get yourself into your own alignment and who you want to be in the world, you can take a breath and then ask, how do I respond to this? Do I respond to this? A lot of the times a break is really what's needed. But I'm wondering if when people act like this and what we call betrayal, right? Somebody acts in a way that we don't want them to act. Well, sorry, you're not in charge of everybody else on the planet. That might be a relief for some of you. You're not in charge of everyone on the planet. Stop thinking you're the keeper of the universe, all right? That job's been filled. Totally relax. But setting aside those that have pathological behaviors and really do want to mess with people, if we took a place and an approach of compassion of what's going on with this person, that they're going to be throwing that stuff at me, and then what did I do to participate in this? It can move your emotional buns out of what's often called the victim place. And to be clear, like, a victim is not always with the Velcro on the back of the hand to the back of the forehead and, doing that very dramatic thing. Sometimes people are in victim mode when they're saying, well, it is what it is. Oh my goodness, that is such a victim statement. It is what it is. I have to settle for what it is. I know it's supposed to sound like it is what it is, but most people carry it with that very low energy, I must suffer here. So what I would like to suggest is that we start looking at when other people are tossing stuff, and when we're doing it too, where is that coming from? Where is the hurt that's in there? And it's not always, it is not easy to take that space and to step back and be in a place of understanding when you really just want to say, listen, bucko, what is happening is you're being a dumbass. I love that word. I so love that word. So I had this recently where someone just didn't want to communicate with me anymore. Had it with me. And that's fine. I mean, I get it. I live with me. Sometimes I have it with me too. But when I stepped back and I looked at it and said, did I do something? Did I say something? Did I overstep my boundaries? Did I suggest something they weren't ready to hear? This wasn't in a session. This was in a personal setting. And when I came back to, I can't really think of anything. We hadn't had a lot of interactions recently. So when they stopped communicating with me, after doing my own inventory, decided to look at, from what I know of their life, what might be going on for them. And sometimes you empathic people, self included, will overstep. Like that's the wrong word. You will overcompensate, right? You'll reach out. Are you okay? Did I do something wrong? We'll take it on ourselves, right? That doesn't help a situation, because maybe the other person needs some space. Maybe there is maybe their life just blew up and they're very busy and they can't get to you in that moment. So the space works on both sides, right? Being able to step back and look and see, are they throwing stuff at me that's undeserved, because we need to speak up about that? Or am I taking it too personally and thinking this is all about me? We need to speak up about that too, even if it's afterwards and saying, kind of went to a needy place there, sorry. So I'm talking very fast today, aren't I? I'll slow this down. Maybe it's the treadmill. See, when I stand here, it thinks I'm supposed to be running. And usually when I'm running, I can't talk and I can't breathe. So it's all confused that I'm standing still and talking. So what I would love for people to begin doing is taking that space and assessing, is this person who's just disappeared from my life, or who said something inappropriate, who cheated on me, who, I don't know, tanked our business, whatever the scenario is, are they doing it because they truly are trying to betray or hurt me, or are they hurt themselves? And I think when we take that space and back up in a very kind, somewhat Buddhist manner, it takes the pressure off of us. And because I'm not saying being an altruistic, completely everybody can treat me like crap and I'm okay with it place. What I'm saying is check in with yourself and see how you would like to respond, and then have the compassion for where the person may be coming from, and then make your decision from there. I mean, in my situation, I decided not to pursue it, because when I really looked at the relationship, this is not the first time. It's happened before, and I didn't want to see it. And I didn't want to believe that, someone could just be done with someone else. That just seems so cold. Like, at least send me a text that says, peace out, Girl Scout. I was a Girl Scout for a long time. I can take it. So, when you are practicing this, it's very empowering, because when those messages, emails, phone calls come through, you can connect with the soul aspect of yourself, tap into that first sense, right? That sense of knowing that you came in with when you were naked and had no teeth and trusted that everything was going to be okay on this planet, and it still will be, that someone else's actions do not have to directly impact how you feel about yourself. So, and I believe in relationship communication is huge, and that we have to be able to learn how to say what it is we're requiring, and that takes a lot of bravery, and some of us weren't raised that way. And some of us have people in our lives who think an intuitive reads minds, and I do not read minds. So if you have an issue with me, you're going to have to reach out to me, because I'm probably thinking we're all good. So if you have someone in your world, and this could be years ago, it could be decades ago, hopefully. If it's decades ago, you're going to look at this and you're going to decide if you want to hold that anymore. And did this person actually betray you? One of the other things I hear all the time is they abandoned me. And as an adult, unless you're infirmed, I am not going to agree with that, because you are an adult. You cannot be abandoned literally. You may feel like somebody emotionally abandoned you, but I'm typically going to turn it back to self and say, where did you abandon you? That you've put so much power into what another person thinks of you, or does, acts, says, behaves, that you no longer are standing in your own trust that you had when you first came in, and you couldn't even feed yourself then, and you had the trust. So one of the other meanings of betrayal is to reveal or exhibit, right? So to betray a position, or betray a belief. So why can't we use that as a way of saying thank you? That whomever is acting in the way they're acting, they're exhibiting to you perhaps who they really are. Like in my case where I didn't want to see it, but when it happens the second time, I rarely need a third time. When it happens the second time, I go, okay, Vic, this is a pattern. You know I love my patterns. Love my patterns. So supportive patterns. So using that betrayal in a way that helps you truly see where someone's coming from, hopefully in the compassionate state, but that might not be able to be there for a little bit. That's fine. It's all a process. And it may reveal to you, as is the case in this relationship that was recently released, perhaps there's opportunistic behavior there, and it's best that they leave, like ta-ta. And you can then open up your space to someone who wants to be present in there. So if we can take the out of it that someone betrayed me and like leave that for the stage, we can start to hold our own power and our own sense of self. And then I think it's much more playful and fun to be with people when we're all responsible for our own stuff. So perhaps that person or experience was a teacher for you. Not all teachers come, like Miss Mackenzie, I see she's online here. Not all teachers come with a big beaming smile and I'd like to educate you and teach you in the most loving way. A lot of the stuff we learn in this lifetime are from those that should never get tenure in your life. So, and sometimes we're the teacher. We are always the student. We must always be in the place of asking, what can I learn from this? You may not like the answer. You know, I didn't like taking history, so still had to do it. You might not like what comes back to you, but knowledge is important and action is the power. So the action part is where you decide if you're going to remain with the thought process that other people have a say over my emotions and all of that, or I'm the one in charge of it here and I'm going to begin to practice space, sense of self, trusting my first sense, and then allowing other people to be who they really are. So I hope you'll do that this week. Thank you for joining me. Now you'll know what it looks like when I'm running on my treadmill. Not that I don't know what kind of joy that brings you in your life, but it brings a little bit to mine. So knowing that you'll be part of my cute little condo here. And I hope you have a great weekend. And let me know what classes you're interested in. Topics for webinars. There'll be some that are without charge. They'll have energy charge, but without compensation. So, and then of course those that you'll have to pay. I mean, I do have a condo to support. So, and then podcast. So thank you so much for being part of my journey and for joining me on my Fridays. I so look forward to this time with you, and I hope your weekend is calm and fun. Talk to you later.